And recording in progress. We're back. We're back. Obviously, opening days tomorrow. It's a big day for everybody, for all baseball fans. As you can see, I'm not at a desk. I am now in a new little set. I have a succulent here now. I bought this mug over in Gettysburg for like $40. I wasn't going to buy it originally. And Ashlyn is like, it's one of those things that you're not going to see ever again. So you should buy it. And I did. And now it's a set piece. If you're blind or, whatever, you can obviously tell that I'm not here by myself. I'm once again graciously joined by Matt Hartman. Matt, how are we doing?
I'm good. We're less than 24 hours away from probably the best day of the year. Maybe not the best, but one of the best. The best is when the Phillies win the World Series later this year. That's the best
Oh,
day.
that was must win. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like a holiday, and I can't wait.
It is, and like every year it comes around, and it's so like I don't know if you feel the same way, but every time it's weird seeing like new guys on the team. Like Jake Cave is probably going to start in left field tomorrow, and I'm not going to be used to seeing Jake Cave in left field. He, by the way, led the entire spring training in hits this year. So our guy Jake Cave. So before we kind of get into the season stuff, something happened a couple hours ago. Phillies just kind of went out and got Christian Pache from the A's. And for people who don't know who Christian Pache is, he was would you call him the centerpiece in the Matt Olson trade with Atlanta?
One of them, yeah, yeah, and they gave up on him really quick, and I think that's the A's. They're gonna.
He's hitting 302 in the spring. What are you doing?
I wouldn't have given up on him. And I've never heard of the prospect we gave up, Sullivan. So I think he's like a low ball prospect. So I don't think
it's a low. It reminds me a lot of, and I saw people saying this on Twitter. It reminds me a lot of the Edmundo Sosa trade, where we basically gave up Jojo Romero. I was a big Jojo fan, you know that, and you would always tell me, "Shut up, he sucks."
Yeah,
I'm like, no. He's an electric factory. I love that guy, but it gives me shades of that a little bit. And now we found the platoon to go with Marsh. If you don't want him facing righties, or excuse me, facing lefties, you don't have to stick Sosa out there. You still can, if Pache really does suck. But what did you think of that trade?
And he could also come in right for Nick at the end of the season, ninth, and if Schwarber's in left, you can put him in left, and if you want a defensive replacement. Although I don't think Schwarber's as bad defensively as people say they are, but
no,
Nick is
a slug out there.
Unless you have to have a sliding catch like he did against the Braves and the Astros, saved us 2 games.
But, when he said openly, he's like, yeah, during the regular season, I'm just kind of out of it. I really only pay attention during the postseason. I appreciate the honesty, but yeah, continue.
Yeah, I think he can come in and it could be a good defense replacement. It'd be nice if he can hit a little bit, which would be nice. But it's something that the Phillies are going to have to get used to these first 2 months until Bryce comes back. They're not the team they're going to be. That's why I don't know if they could win the NL East. They can, but I think they're going to start off a little slow. Not slow, but they're not going to start off as strong as the Braves or maybe even the Mets. I think that they just need to keep pace like they did last year until Bryce comes back. And I think they can try to get someone like Christian Walker or CJ Cron. I would love either one of them, but I was on Team Cron, but more I think about it, I think I'm on Team Walker.
I feel like if you're gonna trade for Christian Walker, the D-backs are gonna want a lot back. I just don't think it's worth the overpay, especially for a half season of him. He's a rental. He's on an expiring contract, and if in that case, if you're not going to re-sign Reese, by the way, I had to put Hoskins up for this one's for Reese this season. But if you're not going to sign Hoskins, would you look at a Christian Walker or to sign to supplement? Do you think internally? But I don't know if I said this to you. I said this to somebody. My gut is just telling me that Eric Hosmer will be on this team at some point this year. and I'm gonna hate every single second of that.
Don't know if that's something they need because I think Derek Hall's the left-handed bat. And I think they
Mhm.
need a right-handed bat. I think Derek Hall will hit against righties. He matches against righties. I
Yeah.
think they need someone. I would have liked Luke Voigt, but he went back
Yeah.
to
What about Keston Hira? He was
good. Yeah,
DFA'd, and he was what? He's like 2 years removed from having
yeah.
a
He's kind
800 OPS.
yeah, he'd be okay, but he's a shortstop, so I don't know how much they need him because they have a lot of infield depth.
I
They
mean,
have
he's played first base
he has,
already.
yeah, he has, but they
It
do
can't
need
be
a
worse.
right-handed bat to go at first. I think Harrison can play first, Sosa can play first. They might have to
Yeah.
have Schwarber at first. JT, they're gonna have to just platoon it, but I don't think
Yeah.
they. I'm not sure they can win a World Series with platooning, so obviously they're not going to platoon. They're
I
going to
mean, the Rays almost did.
yeah,
Obviously,
but I think they need to have a set everyday first baseman,
yeah.
and hopefully Hall's that guy. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a great vote of confidence for Dombrowski to come out and say, like, this is your job, like, run with it. Because a lot of times you have, and I feel like they have a lot of confidence in Hall because even when they brought him up last season, he was batting cleanup in his major league debut. So, and again, defensively, he can't be worse than Reese.
No, he can.
I'm expecting like if you get, are you happy if he's like 240 with like 25 home runs?
Yeah, but I also think he needs yeah. But until Bryce comes back, I think he needs to hit for a little higher average. But as long as
Yeah.
he walks, the one thing that people never realize, Reese walked a
Oh
lot.
my God. The
So
amount of between him and Schwarber,
even
the
when he was
starter
in
would
his
be at
slumps,
18
yeah,
pitches.
he made the pitchers work even
Yeah.
when he was in his slumps. And I think that's what they need to see from Hall. But
Mm-hmm.
Reese is a big loss.
Mm-hmm.
I think obviously there's no sugarcoating it, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that I think we're gonna be okay. But we need Bryce to. It's great that he didn't come back on the 60-day out, but it also makes Nick and Bohm and all the right and JT. I have nothing but confidence in JT. He's going to be
Mm-hmm.
fine. I'm sure I'm same thing with Bohm, but Nick Castellanos, it all comes down to him. And it was important before Reese got hurt that he had a bounce back year, but it's
Now it's more emphasized. And I saw somewhere on Twitter that he's actually walked a lot more in spring training. Obviously, spring training stats don't really mean anything unless they're fitting my narrative, which Scott Kingery should have made the opening day roster. That's neither here nor there. You're not a Scott Kingery truther, but I am. I love that guy. But I think it's good to see that he's not chasing that. Geez, get Nick Castellanos out. What are you going to throw? A slider down and away. He's going to swing through it every 10 times out of 10.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think I think you're right. It was important that Casty had a good year or better. He can't be any worse than he was last year because he was abysmal last year. And I think it's now more emphasized that Hoskins is out, that offense needs to be,
it's almost necessary now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get, and I mean, this is a perfect transition because we can talk about the whole roster. And people often forget. I mean, I guess not forget, but they're like, "Oh, losing Bryce and losing Reese is bad." I don't know if you heard Matt, but Phillies kind of have a new shortstop who is arguably a top 10 player in baseball. And he's been on an absolute tear since the WBC. So you're supplementing, Bryce and Reese, but you're adding a guy in Trey Turner who looks like he's hitting for a little more power. He looks like he hasn't skipped a beat since last season. It's not like you have a vacant hole. It's not like you have Didi out there again. You have a superstar shortstop now, and you're only going to pair him with another superstar in Bryce, and then hopefully you get something out of Derek Hall,
And they'll make a move. Dave Dombrowski, that's his nature. They'll make a move if they need something, if they need a back end bullpen arm, which they won't, just an example.
Bobby Dahlbeck, you are a Philadelphia Philly.
That'd be something that would be nice. And that's something that you can platoon. If Hall turns out that you just can't hit lefties, which is very, very possible, then that's something you can do. You can add a right-handed bat and he can start against righties and Hall. I have full confidence in Hall against righties. He matches righties.
Yeah.
It's the lefties that I have a little bit of concern. And he also strikes out a lot. And Reese struck out a lot, but not as much as Derek Hall. But like I said, they need to have someone that walks, and Schwarber walks, but I would like to see Alec Boehm take more pitches. And I think he has a breakout year, but I would just like to see more walks without this Reese. And but yeah.
Yeah, I think kind of going around obviously everybody knows kind of the starting nine. You have, JT a catcher, You have Hall at first for now. He's going to be the opening day first baseman. Like we said, he's going to be the guy at first until it's not his anymore if he stinks, which I don't think he's going to. I think Derek Hall's just going to be fine. I don't think he's going to be like a superstar. I don't think he's going to be abysmal. I think he's just going to be fine. He's just going to do his thing over there. And then you have Bryson Stott at second, who I think is going to have a great year this year. You have obviously the aforementioned Trey Turner, the superstar. You have Bohm, who, here's my hot take: Alec Bohm finishes in the top 15 in MVP voting this year.
I've seen a lot of that. And I think he's going to hit for more power. It seems like he's added 10 to 15 pounds of muscle, and they need it now. But that was Reese. You can say whatever you want about him, but you can pencil him in every year 30 and 90 every single year. And they need to somehow replace that 30. And I think Alec Bohm, what do you have, 20 homers last year, 15 homers last year? If that goes up to 25, 30, then I think that they can. And I think Trey, like you just said, he's going to have at least 30. And he could have 40 on his pace.
The way he's just tearing the cover off the ball.
But Schwarber, you can pencil in for 35, 40 homers. But Nick, I'm hoping he has more than 12.
I think if Castellanos gives us 20 home runs, I consider this season a success for him. Which sucks because like we signed a guy. Yeah, I know we signed him to be that guy, but I even think you're going to get 15 out of Marsh, maybe.
Good, and Bryson can hit some pop especially against righties. But I think that Josh Harrison again. They have pop. Like there's
Sosa, the way Sosa's swinging the bat too.
They're going to be fine, and it's just the division combined without Bryce.
It's not like we're in the central divisions. If we were in the centrals, we'd just go, all right, so who are we facing in the NLDS?
Exactly. And,
I think something that is gone very underrated is the Phillies saw kind of the holes in their hole. I put holes, in very big quotes. They kind of saw the holes in the lineup in the sense that it was kind of boom or bust. And now you add a guy like Trey Turner. I think Stott's going to hit for more average. Bohm already hit for good average. Marsh was a 300 hitter when he got traded over here, if I'm not mistaken. Like they have guys in there that can get on base. Then you have the big bop. Kyle Schwarber is never going to hit above like 230, I don't think. But I don't care if he's hitting 45 home runs a year. I could care what he's batting. And all the old baseball heads are like, he only hit 212 last year. He's terrible. Get him off my team. Well, it's like, well, he also had, combined, wasn't it like 53 home runs or something?
Yeah, and he also walks a lot too. He's on base in the 330, 340 area.
Yeah. So. But you have guys that are so like just blended so well. And I'm not used to talking about a Phillies team that's competently put together, which didn't know that was allowed in 2023. But, this team from top to bottom, lineup wise is great. Like, yes, you don't have Bryce, you don't have Reese, but you have Trey Turner, you have Derek Hall. You, like you said, you think Casty's going to hit for more power. You hope Bohm hits for more power. To kind of supplement the home runs that Reese would have. The only thing that kind of scares me with this team, which every single year in and year out, has been the bullpen, except for this year. This year, the bullpen is great, but the thing that scares me is actually the rotation. Obviously, the two guys at the top, Nola Wheeler, you know what you're going to get out of them. Hopefully, I don't think either of them get to 200 innings this year. If they play it smart.
I think Aaron can, but they usually try to play it smarter with Wheeler. But I definitely think Aaron usually does.
Because Wheeler's a power guy. Nola can get up there, but he's not primarily fastball.
And Wheeler, you just from his track record, you would think he's going to miss 5-10 starts a year. Yeah. Like I'm hoping not, but just track wise, he's a little more injury prone than Nola. Nola, you can pencil him in for 30, 35 starts every single year.
Yeah, and then you get to Ranger Suarez, who is he opening the season on the IL?
No, he's not on the IL, but he's not starting first. Yeah, he'll probably miss a start or two.
Yeah, so you have Ranger, and you and I both share the same opinion, much with a lot of Phillies fans. Is Ranger's he's a dog. Like Ranger is him, and I can't believe we went from 2019 where we're like, Ranger Suarez sucks. Like, why is he on this team? To I trust him with my life. And then I think The more I see the spring stats and what he did in the WBC, I love the Taiwan Walker signing.
He's fine.
He's been really, really good. He seemingly, I forget what pitch he's throwing more of, but that's kind of the Phillies' MO, is throw your best pitch the most. And he has been, and he's gotten very good stats from it. And then you get to the 5 spot where it's a big question mark with, yeah, obviously the season's going to start. You're going to have Bailey Falter as the 5 starter. And I even said, I posted a TikTok about it. Big Bailey Falter guy this year. I don't know why. My gut is telling me that he's
No,
going
I
to be
trust
good.
Bailey Falter, especially in the 5 spot, but they need to
Mhm.
get Ranger healthy. But once Ranger's healthy, I really like their rotation. I think they're
Mhm.
probably the second best rotation in the NL East behind the nursing home Mets and
By the literally, he can Verlander or Scherzer can throw a fastball too hard and their arm just snaps in
yeah.
half.
But they look like they're in great shape. I think Max definitely over, but just I don't know. I think Verlander would be fine. Obviously, he had the Cy Young last year, but changing teams, 40 years
Mhm.
old. He's looked a little off in the playoffs last
I'm
year, but
sure this. I'm sure this clip won't age.
yeah, we'll come back
Won't
on.
age at all.
But Scherzer's going to be fine. It seems like he's adjusted to the pitch clock better than any
Mhm.
pitcher freaking
He's
spring
using
training.
it to his advantage. Like
Yeah.
he's set, and then he just waits, and goes. So,
So
and
I
I hate that I can't root for Max Scherzer like ever. Like when he went to the Dodgers, I'm like, finally, I can root for this guy. And then it's like, oh no, the Mets gave him $100 million. I'm like, are you serious right now? I can't root for this guy once. But yeah, think I think losing Painter for that extended period of time kind of fogged me a little bit, because I was always saying you shouldn't bring up Painter until it matters, when you get into July, when you get into August. But now it seemingly is going to be around that time. If everything, fingers crossed, goes well with that injury, that it kind of heals itself and he's back throwing. But do you think that they have enough depth there? Do you think that they can supplement guys and kind of do a little more bullpen games? What do you
yeah, I
think?
think they have enough depth. And also, I heard Christopher Sanchez is throwing harder than he's ever thrown. So once he gets healthy, so and if Painter gets healthy, it's actually a blessing in disguise. If no Tommy John, just if everything goes well, it's a blessing in disguise, to be honest with you, because he wasn't going to throw the full season anyway.
Yeah.
They weren't going to. So if they can use his best innings at the end of the season for maybe 5, 6, 7 starts, and then he comes out of the bullpen in the playoffs, that's probably a blessing in disguise, to be honest with
Yeah.
you, to use his best innings later in the year.
Mm.
And but yeah, no, I think they have enough depth. I think I like Falter. Strom's good. He's a good flex guy. Kind of you can do in the bullpen.
He was also in my guys to buy stock in
Yep. And
TikTok.
Marte out of the bullpen, so
Oh,
they have.
I love Junior Marte.
I
Love
think
that guy.
I love their. I just like their roster. Just if they can just stay healthy, that health is number one, and so far
Yeah.
not so good. But hopefully they can get
But
healthy.
like I told you, when we were texting, I said I'd rather have all this stuff happen now
Yep.
and then get healthy as the season goes on, then be like in the middle of like a pennant race or middle of like the division race, and then like Suarez goes down or Painter goes down if he was throwing some innings then. But I think you're right. I think Dombrowski and mixed with, like Ani and Sam Fold, like they've all really done a great job of adding depth to this team, and valuable depth for that matter. For years we were having guys like, I don't know, Chris Sanchez. I still don't like Chris Sanchez.
Yeah.
Um, we had guys like Matt Moore was throwing innings, and Chase Anderson.
It's actually a good bullpen arm now
Yeah,
he's
who did he sign
he was
to?
on Texas last year. I don't know if he's still on them now, but he was
Hold
on
on, I
Texas.
gotta look this up. I gotta look. Where is? Hold on. Let me just see. We're gonna find out the whereabouts of Matt Moore, because he had like a
I think
1
he's still in
ERA
Texas.
last year.
Yeah, I think he's
Dude,
still
he's
in
on
Texas.
the Angels.
Is he on the Angels?
He had
So
a 1.95 last year in how many innings did he?
yeah, he was a bullpen.
74 innings. Figure it out. So Dombrowski was right.
Yeah.
He was right. Remember when he threw like 6 perfect innings against the Reds?
I do, and then he gave
Remember?
up like 4 runs after that, didn't he?
Yeah, it was great. Shout out to Matt Moore. Let's see who else was throwing meaningful. You had God, who was God, what was his name?
Parker. Blake Parker.
Oh, that's it. That's who I was. The Blake Parker in 20. Was that 19?
2019 and 20, yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Jared Hughes,
Jared Hughes, Hobie
Tommy
Miller,
Hunter.
Tommy
Oh,
Hunter.
Hobie Milner.
And then
He's actually like pretty good now.
yeah,
Like,
he's not
is it?
bad. There's
Yeah.
a couple other guys that I'm escaping my name, but Brandon Workman, obviously, and yeah, but no, this bullpen they have
Yeah.
it's
Pavetta.
just from one regime to the other. If
Yeah.
like the regime, the
It.
Matt Klentak regime, it was all. It seemed like we had nobody besides Sir Anthony, and he was out
Mhm.
a couple of years. That threw hard.
Yeah.
Everyone,
Because yeah, let's not get him Tommy John surgery and let's waste 2 years of his career. That's
and
great.
and now we have everyone throws hard at the bullpen. Not
Hmm.
everyone's throwing 99. Junior Marte start coming in 98, 99, and
With cut, with movement.
yep,
Like,
and you have
it's great.
Alvarado, Soto. We have the two fastest lefties in the MLB. That they made up for 95% of the 100-mile-an-hour fastballs with lefties, or the two guys we have. Obviously,
Mhm.
control's an issue. I don't really rock control with Alvarado anymore.
Well, the big
Soto.
issue, yeah, the big issue with Soto was his control, but I mean, the Phillies figured something out with
Yeah.
Alvarado. So who's to say they can't do it again with Soto, and have him be a dog. And this is a perfect, dude. We're all about perfect transitions here.
Yeah.
We can transition to the bullpen because for the first time ever, the Phillies have a pretty good bullpen. There's like no question marks there.
Yep. No, and
Like
it's just who closes. That's the other thing. I think he goes Kimbrel just because of the experience. Because I think they like Sir Anthony and
in as a fireman.
yeah, as a sixth, seventh, eighth
Yeah.
inning. Same with
Depending
Alvarado.
on matchup. And that's the beautiful thing about the depth
So,
is when you have as many dudes in there as Thompson has at his disposal, say you throw Sir Anthony out for an inning and a third because you're facing the heart of like the Braves lineup, which also the Braves lineup low key sucks, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid of that. I'm sorry, but like I'm not afraid of their lineup like I have been in years past.
yeah, that's not going to haunt you.
No,
But
no, yeah, we're all about great takes here. But say, okay, I'm much more afraid of the Mets lineup. Like if you have like
I'd say the
Alonso.
opposite, to be honest with you. I'm not afraid.
Really? You're
Yeah,
not afraid of Sean Murphy?
but no, I just their lineup is still fine. They lost Swanson, but they can replace him with that Grissom. No,
But
they're
he's in AAA, he's starting in AAA.
yeah, they'll be fine. The Braves, and then you still have Michael Harris, you have Acuna, you have Olson, you have Riley. They're still really good. I actually the Mets lineup to me is a little overrated, but their pitching is fantastic. The Mets, so I think that'll kind of it'll interesting to see what they do at their closer spot though without Edwin Diaz.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, thinking about it, yeah, the Braves lineup still is really good. God damn it. Yeah, no, the Mets, the New York Mets are literally a nursing home. Like you have Starling Marte out there, who's still like, don't misunderstand me. The Mets are still a very, very good team. I don't think their bullpen is that good.
That's their
Like,
weak.
like it's still not bad by any means, but it's definitely not a strength. I mean, Jesus, the Phillies made it to the World Series with the bullpen they had last year, and it was
Well,
not.
here's the thing: they rode. They literally just kind
Yeah,
of rode Sir Anthony and Alvarado
yeah,
until their arms fell off.
yeah.
And
I mean, yeah, I think, yeah,
they were
because who did
they
the
got
Mets
six,
have?
seven. Yeah,
Who did the Mets have? You have what? Ottavino? Is he still on that team?
there.
Tommy
Yeah,
Hunter's on that team.
I'm not from. Yeah,
David Robertson.
Yeah, Robertson's there, so they have some guys that can close. But Edwin Diaz is a big loss, just as big as Reese, in my opinion.
Yeah,
A fireballer,
yeah.
but yeah, the Phillies were kind of hoping they got 6, 7 out of Nola, Suarez, and Wheel, and then they went to their bullpen last year, so they didn't really have to use any of their depth guys.
Yeah, that's true.
But
But I mean, now you got dudes.
and now you have depth in the back end. And Brogdon and Bellotti are their sixth and seventh guys.
Your
Now.
worst guys are Bellotti and Brogdon
Yeah.
on paper. On paper,
Yeah.
your worst guys are Bellotti and Brogdon, who both had sub three.
Three, yeah.
Both had sub 3 ERAs last year. Like Bellotti is a diamond in the rough. Like he was excellent last year, and I fully expect him to still be there. It's so polarizing what you're going to get with Connor Brogdon because he has a stretch where he is one of the best relievers in baseball and then has like a blow up, loses his confidence, and then is like a few weeks and then he figures it out again. So if that's your worst guy, like, come on.
Yeah, their bullpen's definitely they're one of their biggest strengths, especially, and they got to rely on their pitching now without their dudes. But no, I love the roster makeup. It's the best roster the Phillies have had in since
Since
the
2011.
yep, since the Utley, Howard, Rollins, Halladay, those days. And
Like because you have a whole roster. I kind of want to. I want to go through everything. I mean, here I can look it up. So the whole. I hate that new MLB update on your phone. I don't
it's a
know if
little weird, yeah. I
it's
do have
stupid. Like I just want to open it up and have it be this again, but it's like the stupid front page.
how do
So,
you have it like and
huh?
how do you have it like the old way now?
Oh, so like when you open it up and it's like this,
Yeah, that's
you
what I have
just
it.
tap like the thing that says Philadelphia Phillies and it brings it over to you. Like the big
Ooh.
red. Yeah,
I
yeah,
actually
yeah.
kind of like the update actually. It just
Yeah.
says that it's the pitching matchup. No, I kind of like it actually.
Yeah. Okay, so your whole roster, right? This isn't the 40 man, is it? No. Anyway, so you have so let me okay, you know what? I'm gonna go riff off right off the head. So JT Romito, Garrett Stubbs are catchers. Love
Yep.
it. Love a Garrett Stubbs. Come on the podcast, Garrett. All right, there we go.
He might. I don't know if he's starting the year though. Is he? Isn't he on the? Isn't he banged up, Stubbs, or is he?
No, they said he'll be fine for opening day, and he even said in an interview, we joked, he's like, I won't have to play till like the fifth game
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and then first base you have Hall, second base Stott, shortstop Turner, third base Bohm, left field Schwarber, Marsh, Castellanos. Then you have a bench of let's see, that would
Cade,
be
Harrison,
Cave,
Stubbs.
Harrison, Sosa,
Yep, and Stubbs.
Stubbs.
Yep. Nice
Is
man.
that yeah? I mean, maybe Pache
And
if
Pache. Yeah, it'll be Pache.
if
He'll be there too.
so you would supplement a bullpen arm for that to have an extra outfielder, right?
Yeah, and then they have Bellotti, Brogdon, Marte, Strom, uh, uh,
Kimbrel,
yeah, Kimbrel,
Soto.
Colorado, and Soto. Yep.
Yeah, they got dudes. They got dudes, man.
This roster's loaded, and can't wait. I
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting because I do think the Phillies make the playoffs. I think from a playoff picture,
breaking news: Jared thinks that the defending NL champs make the playoffs. Breaking news.
there you go, fully believing in my guys. But I do really believe that the National League side of the playoffs that we saw in 2022 is going to be the exact same in 2023.
It could. You could see teams like like a lot of people think the Dodgers fall off, which is the one team that they
Well, they don't
lost.
have
Lost.
pitching.
Yeah, they
Really, you
lost, and they
have
lost both Turners, and then
Mhm.
they just lost Gavin Lux for the year because
Which
he tore his
sucks,
ACL.
man.
Yeah, it
It
does suck.
suck.
Like the same thing with Reese, but
Yeah. But I mean, like, yeah, the Dodgers, like, I think they're still gonna make the playoffs. I can never count out the Dodgers because they'll bring some person up from double A and he'll be an all-star.
yeah,
But for the first time on paper, that Dodgers team doesn't look terrifying.
yeah,
Their bullpen is still stacked. Their rotation really isn't that good. I mean,
it's fine.
you have Urias, you have Kershaw at the top, you have Gavin Lux, or not
Bueller,
Gavin Lux, Jesus,
Dustin May,
Dustin May. That's what I meant.
and
Uh,
they still have Bueller who's getting
and
out.
and you have Philadelphia Phillies legend
Yeah, they
Noah
know he's
Syndergaard.
starting there. Yep, he's going to be starting, and apparently his velocity's back up. I was hoping that the Phillies brought him back up though. I don't think it's back up to 99.
No, but I think he's
But
sitting like 96, maybe.
yeah, but I was hoping that the Phillies would take a flyer on him. I've been saying that because he gave the
Yeah,
Phillies good innings last year.
yeah. Like I liked Noah Syndergaard on the Phillies. Like I thought he
And
was
now
exactly what we
if
traded
he was
for.
94, 95, 96 again, then he could be a
Mhm.
pretty good fifth option. Then
And
they
and
probably
shout
look
out
at him now.
Yeah, and shout out to him because he said he loved playing in Philly. And I don't all I'm saying is I don't remember him saying that about the New York Mets. That's all I'm saying, by the way. Just saying he very much said he enjoyed playing in Philadelphia, but that's neither here nor there. Love you, Noah Syndergaard, which is a sentence I never thought I'd say, but here we are. Um, yeah, I mean, I think the Padres win the West, and I think pretty handedly too. I think the Cardinals in the Central, and I think I mean, it's you can't bet against the Braves. I literally just said like I'm not afraid of their lineup, but
I'd
then
probably go Braves 1, Phillies 2, Mets 3. If the Phillies were healthy, I would go them 1, but they're not. And
yeah,
I just think they need to stay alive, stay in the hunt,
yeah.
and then they take off in June and July with Bryce back. And
Yeah, and not to give anything to the Mets, like they're a very good team. Okay, we have 10 minutes left on our Zoom. Sorry, let me close that out. With this new setup, I was telling Matt before we started recording, I would usually have my desk, my laptop, and the camera sitting like right on it. Now my laptop is down here, so this entire time I've been looking down here just because that's where Matt is and my camera's up here. So that explains that. But not to discount anything with the Mets because they are a very, very good team, but they are like what you're going to get out of Scherzer and Verlander. You hope that they're not going to be hurt. Well, I mean, it's hope is I'm a Phillies fan. I never hope injury
yeah,
on anybody. As a baseball fan, I hated seeing Edwin Diaz go down. But as a Phillies fan, I was like, but what you're gonna get with Scherzer and Verlander. You don't really know what you're gonna get from Kodai Senga. Um, he seemingly has transitioned well. And then you have Carrasco. Who is their fifth starter? Peterson?
no, I thought they signed someone else.
Quintana. But he's hurt.
Yeah,
Quintana's
well,
out for the first
yeah,
few months.
definitely,
So
yeah.
I think it is Peterson who's their fifth starter.
Let me look at their roster because I thought they signed someone else.
This is the most Mets talk we'll have, but we're just gauging the competition for the preview. I just don't want anybody to get a different idea.
Sam Coonrod was on the Mets now.
Yeah, I guess it's fine. Yeah, he's a part of that bullpen too. Sam, you
Yeah.
owe us one. We almost got you a ring, bud. You owe us one.
Rotation is Verlander, Senga, Scherzer. It'll probably be Peterson. Yeah, Peterson is their 5. Carrasco, obviously, and then
Yeah.
I mean, it's good, but it doesn't scare me as much as the 2022 Mets rotation. It
No.
doesn't. They had DeGrom. They had
Scherzer, Bassett, Walker.
Bassett. Yeah, that's a name that escaped my mind. Yeah, they lost Bassett. So they basically only just replaced their dudes. They didn't really add. Like
they just replaced it. Which
Yeah.
I guess, like, if you're a team like the Mets that are built like that, that's all you really need to do. You don't really need to like improve when you already have a stacked team like that. But I do think, like, I just think that Edwin Diaz thing is a big, big blow, and I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility for Steve Cohen to just go out and pick up a reliever and just pay whatever. But I think, like, on paper, obviously nobody wins anything for having the best team on paper. I do think that the Phillies finish in second behind. I think you're right. I think it goes Braves. I think it goes Phillies and then the Mets. I just think that bullpen is a big, big issue. And look, guys could go in there and be studs this year. Like Sam Coonrod could be, first half 2021 Sam Coonrod, where he was untouchable for the Mets. He could be that guy. Like, obviously, on paper, their bullpen is a very big weak spot. The back half of the rotation is a big weak spot, but their offense is really, really, really good. That's the strength of this team. And it kind of sounds like I'm talking about the Phillies again, but I'm not. Which is why I think the Phillies finish ahead of them. I think I like the Phillies rotation better. Well, the apples to oranges.
Mets are probably a little better, but they're it's very comparable. But Seng is the wild card. If he's as good as people say he is, then they're definitely a better rotation.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
But I love our bullpen better. I
Mhm.
think our lineup when fully healthy is better. But no, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be three-way. They all could win 95 plus games.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and that's why I absolutely love, and I say this about football, and I say this about all the sports. It's so much more fun when all of the teams in your division are good and they're just duking it out to be the best. It is, dude. Like this season, when you had go with the Eagles, like when you had, I mean, obviously the Eagles were the best team in the NFC, but you had the Cowboys who were good. I mean, they're never gonna win anything. But then you also had the Giants who were pretty good. Like, I don't know why, I just love the competitiveness and above all else, we always come out on top. We always come out smelling like a rose, except we don't win anything.
The Marlins could be kind of sneaky too with the rotation. They added Gene, and then they added They got Luis Arraez from I bet you the Phillies would love to have Gene now. That means they can go Bohm
Yeah,
at first, Gene at
yeah,
third. Obviously, hindsight's 2020.
yeah.
There's
But I
some
don't think they were going to pay Gene
yeah.
that the contract he wanted. And like, look, like you said, like I think the Marlins are going to be frisky. The Nationals, LOL. That's all I'll say about the Nationals.
Yeah.
Um, but the Marlins rotation is a top five in baseball. Like I'll say it. Like they
They
have a,
lost Pablo Lopez, but yeah, they're
but
still
then
about five
you,
to ten in baseball.
yeah, I mean, so the Marlins aren't going to be a pushover like they have been in years past. I feel like a lot of the games between the Phillies and the Marlins are just going to be like 2-0, 2-1. Um, but they got some dudes down there. Their bullpen still sucks. So until they figure that out, I feel like the Marlins will be good in like 2 years. I feel
We've
like
been
just
saying that. I feel like they'll be.
that's true. We have been saying
Yeah,
that
they
like
could still be good. They have the lineup now, though, and
mhm,
if they get another arm in the bullpen, they could be a 80
frisky.
team.
Yeah, they can be
Yeah,
a frisky team.
yeah.
But I think from the Phillies, if they were fully healthy, I would say 95 plus. I'm still going with 90 wins. I still think
I'm gonna go
that
91.
yeah, okay. All right, 91.
I,
um
I tweeted it out earlier
you
today.
did. Yeah, I saw it. But I think that it's just I think they're gonna be fine without Reese. They're gonna be fine until Harper comes back, and Harper might be back sooner than we thought he was gonna be,
AIL, yeah, so he could
which
be
is
in
just
end of
crazy.
May. If he's back, they at the end of May they have a stretch where they play the Braves, Mets, or it's either the Mets, Braves, Mets, or Braves, Mets, Braves. I don't know which order it is, but if they have
Mhm.
a stretch where they play them, if he can be back by then, that'd be really nice. And those are
Yeah.
the times that they play those teams. But
Mhm.
if obviously don't rush them for a May series, but if he can be back by the end of May, early June, that'd be really, really helpful. And
Yeah,
obviously Harper.
yeah, it's you're adding the MVP of the league, or well, one of the best players in the league. He's no longer the reigning MVP.
He could,
Um,
but yeah,
yeah, he could have been. Yeah. I think you're right. I think they just got to tread water, and I think they will. They're facing the. We haven't even talked about the game tomorrow.
facing the
I
Browns
forget.
tomorrow.
I
Oh, their
forget.
first, yeah, their
Forget. There's
first
a
six
baseball game
games.
tomorrow.
Yeah, their first six games, I think I saw they
Yeah, it's
faced
the Rangers and
no,
Yankees.
no Yankees, but the pitchers they face are all like besides
Dogs.
so they the Grom. Yeah, so
Well,
I'm
dude, the
looking at
Yankees rotation is like a shell of what it should be, so they should
yeah.
be fine.
So they face the Grom obviously tomorrow, and then
What
Saturday they
is
face
it? Evaldi?
Evaldi, who's very
But
good.
what are you going to get out of him? Are you going to
Yeah,
get 2021 Evaldi? Are you going to get 2022 Evaldi?
and then you go Perez, who was very good
Again,
last.
what are you going to get out of him?
Yeah, if he's good, and then they go Cortez for the first game against the Yankees. Then it's on the side, and then it's Cole. So they
Okay.
still have to face some really good arms in
Come out of this stretch 4-2, and I'd be
3 or
happy.
4-2, and then you got a
Three and
nice
three, 4-2, and then you're back
Reds,
home against the. Yeah, I
Reds
think
ones.
you're facing the best opener of all time in Jacob DeGrom.
Best opener in baseball.
He's probably going to go 4 innings tomorrow. Uh, if
Yeah.
if the Rangers are smart, only pitch him for 4 innings. And then we just beat up on their bullpen. Hopefully, um, we have about a minute and a half left. Matt, I'm gonna ask you one thing. Give me your final score predictions for tomorrow. What do we got?
I will go Phillies win it 3-2.
I like that a lot.
I think they're gonna go six, and
Mhm.
I think they line it up with their back end with they go Sir Anthony, Alvarado, and Kimbrel, and they win the game.
There we go, and that's that. So yes, this has been our season preview. We're back. At least I am. Matt, thank you very much. I went over here because I'm looking at you here, but Matt, thank you very much for the time. You're welcome anytime. We're back on the schedule. When I say we, I mean me. Of posting after every series, there will be new podcasts. We're finally back on that schedule. There's not going to be lulls anymore. Matt, is there anything you want to plug? You want to do anything? The time is yours.
Can't wait. Opening day, best week of the year, and we get to watch. There's something to watch. That's the best thing about baseball
Mm-hmm.
season. There's something to watch every single night, no matter if they're going to be good, but no matter if they're good or they're 2013 to 2017 Phillies, there's something to watch.
I'd
Every
even throw 2018 in
single
there.
yeah, and 18, but they were competitive then. But yeah,
Which I don't know how. I've talked about that before. I don't know how the 2018 Phillies were competitive, but that's another time for another day. Thank you very much for listening and watching, and we will see you in the next one whenever. Well, on Monday. Monday.
Boom.